I'd like to welcome everyone to today's inaugural live stream of travel and places of the Let's Explore It series. We're gonna explore Route 66 in western Oklahoma to start with today. We'll see how that goes, and if we're successful, then we'll start adding other places onto the list, and we'll go from there. But today is episode number 1. Really appreciate you guys joining me. Be sure you pop in and let me know that you're watching, and let me know where you're from. We'll wait a couple of minutes, and then once we get a few minutes under our belt and a few more viewers under our belt, we'll start the tour. We're going to travel west towards Elk City and Sayre, maybe, but we're going to stop at places along the way. We're going to check out a lot of these places along Route 66 and just kind of make a day of it. It's a little bit warmer here today in Oklahoma. I think we're expecting a high of about 50, which is a lot warmer than it has been in the last week or two, and I am thankful for the warm temperatures. So give it another minute or two. Right now you're staring at the Yukon's Best grain elevator, one of the landmarks along Route 66, and we're going to follow the mother road all the way to the west out towards the Oklahoma border, and we'll see what we can see. So glad you guys can ride along with me today. It is warm in the car, it is chilly outside, but almost 40 degrees, so that's awesome, because we have been in the teens, it seems, for like 2 weeks straight. So this is kind of like a good reason to get out too and enjoy. Alright, so it's 11:55. We went live a little bit early. I figured we'd give ourselves a little bit of time to aggregate the audience. But I have chat pulled up, so you guys can ask questions along the way. If you have any information, knowledge of the places that we're going to stop, feel free to put that in the chat. If you know, you guys got a minute, you can look up local history to the places, and feel free to inform the crowd as we go. So let's take a look here. So this Yukon's Best grain elevator, I've taken a shot of this elevator before, and it's a really neat landmark along Route 66. Let's look up some stuff here. This elevator was built in 1916, and flour and other products were produced here until about 1970. It was sold to the Shawnee Milling Company, and the mill was closed 2 years later. It has been just maintained and restored along the way, including 2013, and one of the big landmarks here along Route 66. Alright, so if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's get this show on the road. Let's ride along Route 66 and experience some other road today. How about that? You guys ready? All right, here we go. And this is the first, if this is a good stream today and we get enough viewers and it's successful, then we're gonna make this a thing. So I'm really excited about today. I love history. I'm a huge history buff. I love nature and landscapes and all that stuff too. So we're going to try to incorporate all of this into this channel, including the weather when it happens. And here we go. Now we're riding along Route 66 here in Yukon. You can see the downtown area. Beautiful day for a drive. All the snow should be melted off the roads. Should be nice and clear. Temperature's a little warmer today. That's exciting. And so we're going to soak in a little bit of history. Standard station on the right hand side of the road. Chisholm Trail crosses here. Hope everything looks good and sounds good. Oh, we're gonna have to run through this yellow. Can we make it? Can we make it? I think we made it. All right. So we're heading west on Route 66 out of Yukon. Hi, Ellie. Hopefully it looks good to you guys as you're driving. Still snow on the sides of the road and in the medians. This snow has lingered longer than any snow that I can think of in recent memory. All right, that's the good news. That's good information. There we go. You are looking at Route 66, the Mother Road, as we head west into western Oklahoma. This is the first episode of the Let's Explore series. Snow on the ground, not on the road. So Route 66 was the main thoroughfare that crossed the mid portion of the United States, basically up from Illinois all the way out to California. And back in the 30s and 40s and even 50s, this was a highly traveled road, by people who were crossing the country. And so along the way, because it was popular and highly traveled, there were places that were along the road where people could stop and have picnics and get gas and stuff like that. And once the interstates came along in the mid-50s, then you started seeing places like Route 66 kind of start fading away as far as being used by the main population. But it has become a historic road. Lots of history. Eastwards towards El Reno. Well, this part of the road is used really often because it connects El Reno and Yukon, so you get quite a bit of travel along this road. A lot of people live along this area. Once you get past El Reno, once you get through El Reno and past on the other side, then it becomes basically a side, you know, kind of an access type road. But if you want to avoid traffic and you're not in any big hurry, it's a great road to take. But I love history. You guys love history? Anybody here love history like I do? Because I have a ton of places that I've been and I want to visit again, and I'd love to bring it to you guys in the future. And if this thing takes off, then you know, I could see where we could probably do something like this once a week. That would be amazing. But right now you see out my front camera, we also have the roof camera, so we can get multiple vantage points of any place that we stop. Hi, Lady Gracious, how are you? It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here to join the stream today. We're doing a little Route 66 driving. So I hope you guys are into some history and just some road trip type stuff. And I'll try to bring it to you as best I can. And we'll learn a little bit along the way and see some sights along the way. We're coming up now on Banner Road. This place has been developed here a little bit in the last 10 years or so. Oil field places have popped up. And they put in the Radio Road intersection up ahead. And so you see a little bit more traffic. This area, I'm going to take this over here and maybe we can point that back towards what we need to go the other way. You can see the snow on the ground still. It snowed quite a bit ago, and about a week ago, and this stuff is still lingering. So along this road on Route 66, some of the more recent history, and where I'm pointing the camera at, I believe, yeah. So we're about to pass by the Canadian Valley Votech, and it was hit by the El Reno tornado in 2013, and it was tore up like crazy. And they have since rebuilt and restored. Of course, that's been 12 years now, which is hard to believe. Let's see, that's just the center there. Yeah, the Votech's coming up here on the right-hand side. So whenever the El Reno tornado set down, it was moving to the southeast. And then after a few miles on the ground, it started, it changed its direction, changed its path, and it started moving to the northeast. Kind of like a big hockey stick. And anyways, over here on the right-hand side, which you'll see in just a minute, is the Votech, which was really hit hard towards the end of the life cycle of that tornado. So you guys can see there that But they have got that thing completely rebuilt. Looks brand new, really nice looking. They've done a great job on it, but it was completely tore up, very, very torn up in 2013, and it took a year or two to get that set back to good. So out the front cam. Again, for you guys just joining, we are traveling down Route 66, the historic Route 66, to the west on a day for a road trip and a bit of history and kind of like an auto tour. So just imagine yourself jumping in the car with your friends or family and saying, let's go sightseeing. And that's what we're doing today. The temperature now is 42, which is the warmest it's been in a bit. All of this snow that you guys are seeing today should be gone by the end of the day. If not, it'll be close. It'll be gone tomorrow. But it snowed about a week ago, and this stuff is hung on. You like the idea. I've got a ton of places and things that we can do like this. I love, like I said, I love history. I love just coming out and soaking this stuff up. So I hope you guys do too. And if you do, then we're gonna have a lot of fun. Now we're coming into El Reno. Also located along Route 66. We see along the way, if I see a landmark, we're going to stop for a little bit and we'll do a little research and some history, digging on the stuff. El Reno is home to Fort Reno, an old fort that was built a long time ago, and I did a little research on that, and the fort here in town on the west side was named after basically kind of a random Civil War person who really didn't have any connection to the area, which was kind of insane a little bit. I was like, usually when you name a place after somebody, they have a connection to the area, as like where it's where they grew up or where they went to school or something like that. But the Fort Reno or El Reno does not have that. There's no connection. It's kind of like they chose a guy who was a little newsworthy back in the day and went with it. I got this new roundabout here, and as long as everybody knows how to drive the roundabout, then we're going to be in great shape. There we go. couple old motels out this way, and we're really gonna do a deep dive on this stuff. So, there's a lot of times I drive through here and I just keep going. I don't really notice, what's, I'm just not paying attention to the history of it a lot of times. But today we're going to pay attention to that history. All these old roadside hotels, motels, like we just passed, they're going to get a little bit more attention today. That's a Ranger Motel, and you can tell by the sign that it has a little bit of history to it. It's got that 50s vibe to it. Map here. We want to stay along the route as best as possible. There are places where the highway breaks off here and there, but for the most part, I think we're going to be able to travel it concurrently. We'll be on Route 66 most of the way today. I think there's very few places where we'll actually come off of it. So we got the Route 66 bridge here going over El Reno, this valley coming up on the Old Town here. And if you guys see stuff along the way, like Chaz saw, make sure you point it out in the chat. And feel free to do a little bit of internet research as we go along to learn a little bit more about it. Anything that you see. Of course, I'm your tour guide today. I'm driving, and I'll do the best I can to stop at certain places so we can do a little research and learning. Most importantly, to enjoy the views. We're not in any hurry today. We're not in a rush. No weather today. Normally, if there's weather, I'm going to be on it, but on days like today, we're just going to soak up the history. We're coming up now on the downtown portion of El Reno. And of course, Route 66 extends, like I said, from Illinois to Arizona. So there's so many portions of this road that we can explore in the future. I chose the western part today. Seemed a little, I know it pretty well myself, and it seemed like a good spot to kick off our Let's Explore series. And you guys can see the damn, boy, that's a big old snow pile right there, isn't it? Man, that thing's gonna be here till June. Got the old trolley tracks here on the pavement. Sacred Heart Church. I think it's been around a while, Catholic Church. Alright, so we're heading out west of town. That mural as we go by, that's pretty cool. I know that was a quick view, but neat mural. I figure we'll be at this for a couple of hours today. I think we've got a good portion of the afternoon to basically soak this stuff up. Job's El Reno, 1958, old hamburger stand there as we're driving by. Of course, you know, there's all kinds of Route 66 not memorabilia. There's just a lot of you know, recognition along this route that you are on the old Highway 66. There's a lot of murals and signs and stuff of historic value. A little bit more snow out this way. That's exactly right. Has anybody ever watched the old Route 66 show from back in you know, when I was growing up? We had Nick at Night, and so they'd play a lot of those old black and white TV shows from back in the day. So you get like Mr. Ed and Donna Reed and stuff like that. And so anyways, Route 66 was one of those shows that they showed on Nick at Night. So, you know, having not that many channels when you're growing up, you kind of watch what you got. And that was one of the shows I got to know along the way. And you'll see as we drive by the old bowling alley here. There we go. Colorful murals on the sides of the buildings and stuff. Mr. Ed, yes, I watched Mr. Ed too. That was another of them. Glad I wasn't the only one. I got to know those shows pretty dang well. It's amazing. You know, of course, and then, you know, people in my generation, you got to grow up watching Gilligan's Island and I Dream of Jeannie and stuff like that too, so. Over on the left side, they've got a penitentiary over there, so. I'd show it, but okay, so now we're out of El Reno, and you can see it open quite a bit out here. Let's see, we're going to pull off up here real quick. I've never been in here, and probably, I don't know how far I can get in there today. I don't know that it's even a place you can drive in, but we'll stop up here at Fort Reno and learn a little bit about it. Okay, Fort Reno's up on our next right. Okay, so this road would take us to I-40 if we stayed on it. Now we're back to the Route 66 here. Okay, so we're going to pull up here. In fact, we might do this. Because we can't really see deep up in there, but we can do this. I can see my screen because it is bright out here, folks. I'm telling you, it is really bright. Oops. Gotta get my okay, there we go. Sun is not kind. Let's see, which way is that? I think. Yeah, here we go. Sun is just brutal on my. Okay, so we're here at Fort Reno, and let's do a little looking up here. Let's see. Fort Reno is a historic U.S. military post in El Reno, Oklahoma, established in 1874 to protect the Cheyenne Arapaho Agency, and later served as a cavalry base, a World War II German POW camp, and a remount depot. Today's a historical site with a museum, chapel, and cemetery. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we got any history. There we go. Maybe. Here we go. All right, Fort Reno began as a military camp in 1874 in the Indian Wars area, established by Agent John Miles at the Darlington Indian Agency to pacify and protect Cheyennes and Arapahoes there. Troops from the 10th Cavalry, they were the Buffalo Soldiers, were dispatched from Fort Sill, but because of other Indian unrest, were detained at the nearby Wichita Agency in present-day Anadarko. The military camp near the Cheyenne Agency, which was Fort Reno, before it was Fort Reno, was set up for 19 months by soldiers from the 5th Infantry. 1875, the commanding officer was authorized to select a site, and on the other side of the North Canadian River to build corrals and a wagon yard, dig wells, set up a sawmill, and other stuff. The permanent location was named Fort Reno in February in 1876 by General Phil Sheridan, which, if anybody has studied their Western American history, he was a very important guy on the military side of things. In honor of his dear friend, Major General Jesse L. Reno, a Virginian, who was killed in the Civil War in 1863. So again, Fort Reno doesn't have any connection to the guy it was named for. Just happened to be a guy that General Phil Sheridan was friends with. So kind of an interesting tidbit of information there. All right, so anyways, this place has been around for a while and is one of the interesting sites here along Route 66. So, let's pull that up. All right, so here we go. Let's get back to our drive. Westward we go, you can see how it opens up out here onto the prairie. Now Route 66 runs along I-40 most of the way, kind of in parallel. Sometimes you cross over and you go to the other side, but for the most part we're going to run parallel with I-40. So we're on the back highway now. So in American history and Native American history, Oklahoma played such a significant role because this was Indian land all the way up until 1907. Most of this area and most of the state was dedicated to the Native Americans. And they had reservations, and this is where they were sent, Indian Territory. And so along the way, you have, historical things that happened, such as the Battle of Washita. So much, it's more of a massacre, but in 1864, out near Cheyenne, with General Custer attacking Black Kettle's band. And you've got Fort Supply up in the northwest, Fort Reno, of course, Anadarko down at, and of course you got Fort Sill down to the south with, that's where Geronimo was sent. All right, so I'm kind of interested to stop and see here real quick. I'm not sure if we can stop, but we're going to try. Still a lot of snow along the banks over here, the ditches. Side or the left side. I don't know if this is something we'll be able to see or not. Oh, yes, we will. Okay, so we need to take the camera. Here on the right hand side or left hand side. We weren't able to see that so good, so we're going to turn around up here real quick. The things you find on Google Maps, this is the first time I've seen this, so I don't know, exactly how important this is to Route 66, but basically those guys. So let's pull that back. The giants are giants. And so if we go over here, swing that all the way around. Let's see which way we're going. No, we want to stay there. Okay. So these guys, these giant guys, are standing tall. So you got Paul Bunyan, it looks like. And let's see who we got here. You guys can tell me who you think this is. So that's Wonder Woman, it looks like. Somebody close to Wonder Woman. And then over here, this guy looks like a Maytag repair guy, but he's probably more like a gas station attendant or something like that. So I'll turn the camera back so when we come back around you can kind of get a better sense of it whenever we drive by. Let's see. Thank you to the client who just purchased a print. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to purchase a print or canvas for your house or your office or something like that, you can go to Southern Plains Photography and do so. But I appreciate the support. That support is what allows me to get out and do stuff like this, so I can't say thank you enough. Alright, so now we're going to come back over this way. as we go behind it, we'll be able to see what they call the giants. Do you see any giants? Did we miss the giants? I probably pointed the camera the wrong way. Maybe. Oh well. We'll come back and maybe get them in another time. Okay, so we want to come back this way and bring that down. Okay. Not really history, just kind of a neat little landmark to see. Awesome. All right, Route 66 to the west. Here we go. 13 viewers, glad you guys are joining me. If you just joined me, we are touring Route 66 today, out to the west in western Oklahoma, stopping along, seeing the sights, experiencing a little bit of history along the way. The village people, that's funny. That's about what they look like. And they're just standing there all along this road. Okay. And there's going to be, like, along this road, it's not like just one thing after another. A lot of the history of this road has been basically lost to time. But there are things that still remain, which we will see. Oh, let's see, that's a big, that looked like a big dip. All right. Direction. There we go. Bring that back towards the center a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yes, it is. It's very bumpy. Well, and that's your old road right there. Not really maintained a whole heck of a lot. Hopefully it's not too bumpy to enjoy, not that you can't enjoy the ride. But yeah, it's definitely bumpy out here. You have to be real careful about speeding through it too quickly. But it's really pretty out here. The snow on the ground kind of adds a little touch of beauty to the landscape, which is nice. And I can't really think of a better way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, this road is kind of rough. This is Route 66, though. It is the mother road. It is every bit of its age. Scroll down here a little bit so I can see my information just a little bit better. There we go. And in other news, you know, we're 1 month away from storm season, so we're going to have a lot of weather streams this year, and I'm looking forward to that. These are good, side stuff. I don't know. Hopefully we can justify being out and doing this on a regular basis, because there's so many places, not just Oklahoma, but everywhere, that we can just kind of go and experience and learn about and soak up the history and just road trip it. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of from a stretch of, this is just a stretch of road that not a whole lot here historically, but we are driving Mother Road, Route 66. You get a good look at the landscape there. It's nice. Hard to believe if you know, it's weird because if you think about it, this little 2-lane road was the main thoroughfare that crossed the United States back in the day. And you take that interstate out of it, and all you've got is this, basically all the way to California. Take out all the development on the side, and next thing you know, that's how you can step back in history in your mind and say, wow, whoa, there's a roadrunner over there, that's cool. Just saw a roadrunner. He said beep beep. Still a lot of snow out here. Snowdrifts got to be pretty thick. Western Oklahoma, you guys saw our stream the other day. Western Oklahoma got it pretty good. So, and it shows it. If you guys are enjoying the stream today and enjoying the history and the ride along Route 66, be sure you smash that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, excuse me, and make sure if you hit that notification bell, you'll always see where we go live. I need a drink of water. We can do is hit Route 66 in sections, and along the way I've got a lot of ideas for places that we can travel to and check out over the coming weeks and months. But again, you know, the views and the amount of viewers has to justify getting out here and doing this. I love doing this. I can do it all day long. But it puts a lot of miles on your car, and you know, also costs the gas. So, and if we get further out in distance, then you start throwing hotel bills in. So anyways, a long story short is that the amount of viewers and the amount of views and watch hours counts. So we've got to make the most of this. And so this is our first episode of the Let's Explore series. I thought that was a cool name. don't know that I've been down in this area myself on its own. I've been along this road for the most part, but I don't remember ever being along this stretch, so I can mark off another, man, if I could make a map of all the highways I've been down in my life, my goodness, it would, there would be a lot of roads all over the United States. I guess if I wanted a more authentic user experience, I could be streaming this from a convertible Corvette. Now wouldn't that be cool? The wind would drive you guys crazy, I'm sure, but it would be neat. In a 62 or 64 Vet, that'd be awesome. Alright, so now we're here on exit 108. We're coming up to where the Cherokee is, and I may stop here and make a pit stop real quick. Comfort is always great whenever you're driving. So we'll stop here. And let's see, can we park over there? Yes, we can. All right. Let me come over here. All right, guys, I will be right back. I promise. gosh, do you guys know how amazing it is to go outside and not freeze to death? Okay. Off we go. Okay, so now I think we come up here just a little bit. Not going to the I-40. It feels pretty good. 44 never felt so good. Alright, so we're kind of on this little junction basically that's going to take us, it kind of connects I-40 and Route 66. Been down this road a million times, but here in a minute we'll get right back off there and get back onto 66. So good. So looking at the weather coming up, it looks like maybe in a couple of weeks, you know, sometime around Valentine's Day, we may get some more snow down here. So that's on the radar as far as future streams go from a weather standpoint. That's kind of a cool view, isn't it? Turn a left and then get it back on 66 Old Highway. Alright, here we go. Okay, back on 66 now. We actually came through here the other day when the snow was coming, falling like crazy, and it was kind of a neat experience. That's a cool view. Look at all the shade here, and look at all that snow that's still on the side of the road. Shade keeps that snow lingering around, and there's plenty of shade there. Look at that. Wow. That is a gorgeous view. Gotta be careful through here just in case little slick spots still exist. You know, some of those hills, to answer your question, is they're pretty steep. I mean, I think, you know, from what you guys are seeing, it's what I'm seeing here too. So they're fairly steep. It's just they're periodic. You know, they're not constant. You know, where it's up and down, but they're every bit as steep as what they're showing on stream, and you get such a good view of things. It was just an amazing view up there. Now we're kind of coming back out to the open area again. Oh, it's really pretty out here. God, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful time to just come out and enjoy this. I got somebody coming down the highway. We'll let them come because I don't want to be in such a hurry. And this is kind of a main but not main thoroughfare. There we go. Okay. Let me pull that back a little bit. That might. There we go. And that may have contributed a little bit to why it looked maybe a little bit steeper than it might have been. But I want you guys to have the exact view that I have. Here we go. Now we're coming over a long bridge here on the Canadian River, and this bridge is long. The Route 66 bridge. Look at this. That's cool. Center that a little bit better. I'll try anyway. Yeah, this is one long bridge. And along this area here, of course, is the Canadian River underneath. And there's an eagle that I always look for when I'm coming through here. My wife and I named him Charlie. She calls him River. I call him Charlie. And I always check for him. He's a little closer to the interstate side than he is to this bridge. But man, look at how long is that bridge. That's cool. Very good. All right. You were about 1,000 miles from anywhere out here. But yeah, the view that you guys have on this is the view that I have in real life. So it's not pulled too far back, not zoomed too far back, or too far forward. It's exactly what I'm seeing out of my windshield. Guy off of my tail hiney because they are like pushing through, and it's like, come on guys, we are not in that big a hurry, folks. kind of a little bit of a Route 66 kind of is used in some places and not used in other places. So this is a little section that is used more often than not. And we're fixing to get off here, and that will be great because then the traffic will kind of die down a little bit. There we go. Got somebody off to the side in this picnic area. Looks like they're changing a tire. Lady gracious, I appreciate it. I do ship internationally. You know, I ship prints internationally anyway, so if you ever did feel like, you know, getting a piece from my website, which I'm so thankful that you find the beauty in them, I do ship internationally. There's a, you know, I think the fee is like, I want to say it's like $24.95 or something like that, depending on the size that you get. But yes, I really appreciate the compliment, for sure. I just shipped one to Singapore just the other day, and I've shipped numerous, lots and lots of pieces to Great Britain, several to France, several to Italy. But you know, every photo that I take is based in a lot of history and a lot of home. I take it from the heart, so I'm glad that you like them though. And I'm also glad that you're watching our stream from overseas. That's fantastic. I think that's just amazing. This little back stretch of Route 66, kind of coming through some old houses and communities that have been here for a while. Rural and agriculture, of course. Really quiet out here, and usually stop through here whenever there's storms, and I'm watching storms come through. So it's kind of nice just kind of be able to take my time coming through here a little bit. Looks like we got an RV park, Route 66 RV park and campgrounds. The little town of Bridgeport. Established in 1895, so it is 12 years older than the state itself, this little community. That works. And if you want like a frame print or canvas or a metal print, which that's wall art, just shoot me an email, which you can find on my website, and let me know what size and where it would be shipping to, and I can give you a quote on that if you want something that's like more ready to hang. So the photography is my full-time living. It's what I do all the time. It's how I make my money, my income and stuff like that. But the streaming is, I'm hoping it will become a big part of that as well. And we've seen some success, which is exciting. And so here along Route 66, this is our first episode of the Let's Explore series. We're traveling west on the Mother Road. You guys are getting a first-hand view of what it was like, or what it is like, to travel this road. Not only today, but what it would have been like 70, 80, 90 years ago now. This is what it looked like. History is awesome. I love history. There's a lot of it around here, and like I said, there's a lot of history in all of my pieces of work, and it all kind of combines to just kind of hit that little spot within you. But it's so pretty out here, and I do, you know, the golden prairie grass and the white snow, blue skies, and just no cars, no traffic. It's just amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry that it's so bumpy. I wonder if there's something I can do to make it less bumpy. Is it the camera? Is the camera itself just shaking too much? But there's there's like gosh, I mean, seems like every 15 to 20 feet there's a little section of concrete. And yeah, you can hear it and feel it. I feel it just driving it. And if I need to fix that, I will. I mean, there's ways that I can address that. And I may do that coming up here soon. I don't want to pull off there. A lot of places are still really snowy out here. This is the mother road. This road has been around for almost 100 years now. It's crazy how time has flied. Route 66, getting our kicks today. Almost hear the theme song in your head to that old black and white TV show. So coming up here in a little bit, we'll stop by Lucille's and check out Lucille's old gas station, where weary roadside travelers would stop and be able to get drinks and use the restroom and have a little picnic, stuff like that. You know, if you're traveling out here, it's 100 years ago, there's not a ton of convenience stores, not a ton of gas stations either. And you're lucky to get a paved road, so you know, you find a roadside place that you can stop and rest, you definitely take advantage of that. Lots of snow still out here. Just beautiful. And right now I'm driving about 50 miles an hour. So that is about the speed that you would expect somebody from way back then to be traveling along this road, and the speed limit was 55 for the longest time, even up until about 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And now, of course, you get on the interstate, they've got speed limits of 75 and 80 now. So we're going what somebody who would have traveled Route 66 a long time ago, this is how fast they would have been going. And they probably would have felt like they were flying. So we've been streaming now for an hour, a little over an hour. Now we got some snowy and icy spots here where the shade has dominated. Wow. Route 66 to the west. This is west of Oklahoma City. We're traveling this section today, gonna head out maybe towards Elk City. And like I said, today's been a pretty good stream, and if we have some success with it, with our total views and our total amount of viewers, then we may be doing this again next week in another section, or we might be traveling to some different places and checking that stuff out. But it's all going to be about history, all going to be about nature, going to be about the road trip experience and the fun of driving down and seeing all these awesome sights. Here we go down a big hill again. This is what it looks like behind me. Lots of snow still. Big chicken there. Big rooster. Ugh. And if you feel like you're bouncing, I am bouncing too. I guarantee it. I imagine 100 years ago you make this drive and it's probably a pretty lonely drive. Take it easy through here. Big old snowman out in front of that trailer house. Now we're coming up on the big town of Hydro. Skies. So if you guys could visit anything historically that you could ever wanted to see in the world, where would that be? Yeah, the Wichita Mountains are on my radar, definitely. In fact, it was one of my choices to go today, and maybe when it's warmer next week, it might behoove us to take a trip down there. And it'll be a real test for my stream, because once you get up into the Wichita Mountains, there's very little signal, if any, to be had at all. So it will be a test of the Starlink, and but it'll be a good test, and I think it'd be worth doing. Definitely. could spend tons of hours in the Wichita Mountains, and we might go looking for elk. I saw them one time with my buddy down there, and I've been down there a million times. I've only seen elk one time, so we may have to go, elk hunting in the sense that we would go to see them. So that might be on the agenda for next week. You guys let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. We'll definitely catch some buffalo and some longhorns down that way. But for now, we have arrived in Hydro along Route 66. Now, if you guys look off to your left, you can see the interstate. So we're probably the closest to the interstate that we've been since we left Oklahoma City area. There's a rhythm to this road, like a horse. You can hear the clocking. Temperature outside is 45 now, so I'm going to say real temperature is about 41, so I call that nice compared to what we've had. Okay, so coming up soon, and we're going to make a stop up here, is our Lucille's roadside station. Alright. Here's our Lucille's roadside gas station. Imagine 80, 90 years ago, you're traveling through here, you're kind of tired, hungry, need something to drink, and there's no main interstate. You know, the towns are pretty small, if they're even towns at all. And let's get that right there. Okay. So let's do a little history digging here. All right, pulling this stuff up real quick. See, Lucille's service station, a classic and historic gas station along Route 66 near Hydro, is one of only two upper stories out-thrust porch-style stations left in Oklahoma's stretch of Route 66. So there's basically two of these. One's probably on the east side. This is the one in the west. Built in 1929 by Carl Dittmore, the service station was renamed by Proving Station in the 1930s. In 1941, the Hammonds family took over the operation of the station, and Lucille Hammonds for which the service station is named, ran the business for 60 years. Lucille, who quickly became known for her friendly assistance to motorists, earned the nickname the Mother of the Mother Road. Lucille's service station is one of similar rural service stations that sprung up in the 1920s in response to increasing automobile travel across the country. This mom and pop station was built with the owner's living quarters located above the service station, so that was where they would sleep. That was their bedroom. So they lived at this gas station and they slept above the carport, basically, which is really crazy. And let's see here, an open service bay supported by tapered piers and vintage gas pumps. In 1971, the completion of I-40 cut Lucille's off from direct access to the highway, and she kept running it. She kept running the station until the day she died on August 18th of 2000. So this place was actually functioning up until about 25 years ago. And it was, let's see, 1929 was when it was built, so we're basically 97 years away from when it was built. Isn't that crazy? Wow. We sure can, Chaz. I plan to pull up there and we'll check it out, definitely. So let me do this. I'm going to take the camera, side camera here, and we'll turn it. Let's turn it this way. I always get confused about where the... Okay, so there's the Route 66 sign with Lucille's. And then over here, let's see, I'm gonna have to pull up a little bit. Over here is basically where people could rent a room for the night. So they got Suite 1, Suite 2, Suite 3, and Suite 4. These are not functioning suites that actually people can actually stay in right now or today. But back in the day, they would stop by these suites and have a place to stay. And I'm sure this was like long after things had developed. So let's do this. Let's pull up. Let's check out that truck real quick. I don't know how well we can see that truck. I need a taller camera on the roof, don't I? Let's do this then. I'm going to pull out here a little bit. Okay. Put that apart. Pull it forward just a little bit more. Now some of this stuff has been restored a little bit. Got the Conoco gas pump. What's that say on the gas there? I can't see how much they charge him for gas, but if it's like 60 cents, we should probably fill up while we're here. I believe it's taken care of by the Route 66 Historical Society out here in western Oklahoma. I'm sure they're in Weatherford now. I'm pretty sure. Let's see who looks it up. See if it says who maintains it. See if it says anything. The outside of the service station has been restored, and a historical marker of on-site recounts the tale of the family that lived here and ran the station for years. Placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1997, Lucille still attracts tourists and Route 66 enthusiasts around the world. There's also a Route 66 themed restaurant in Weatherford based on this. So I believe the Historical Society, it's a nationally registered historic place, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so now let's pull up here, and that's I don't know if you guys can read that. There we go. I'm gonna get, I was hoping that I could squeeze in. There we go. Let me minimize that. There we go. And then we can take our camera I don't know if I can zoom in any further there. Now it's about as far as I can zoom in. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic the way that they've taken care of this place and restored it and made sure that it was kept in good shape. So you got a Phillips 66 gas pump and a Conoco gas pump. And those are pretty cool. You see, you got a little picnic table back there. Yeah. And then over here we've got a little historical marker. Wonder if I can read that from here. Provine Heaven Station. This Route 66 filling station with an over-the-drive design was built by Carl Dittmore in 1929. W.O. Waldroff bought the business home in 1934 and renamed it the place, the Provine Station. A small tourist court was added for overnight stays. In 1941, Lucille and Carl Hammonds became the new owners, and they raised their 3 children, Danae, Dean, D-E-N-E, however you say that, Carl Jr. and Cheryl here. For 69 years, Lucille operated the business. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And of course, it's got the Will Rogers Highway, Route 66. So all in all, pretty neat deal here along Route 66. And there it is. So imagine them cold winter days on a 2-lane highway, and you get a visitor once in a great while. Sounds good, Lady Gracious. Alrighty. So that's pretty cool. And onward we will press. We'll keep it on there for a little bit. Okay, here we go. Very, very cool. And we're leaving Route 66. We're pretending it's 1950 or 1935, and we're in our Model T, and we're heading west, folks. And we're kind of broke because it's the Great Depression. And if it's not any worse than that, to make it worse, then you know, we could get a dust storm at any time if we're in 1935. Okay, so now we're heading into Weatherford. I don't believe they had these big, gigantic billboards back in the day. Just gonna say that's a hunch. I think I'm probably gonna be right about. But we're running right parallel with the interstate, which you can see on the left side of your screen. So if you're just joining us today, you'll want to go back and watch the earlier parts of the stream. We are currently on Route 66, taking an auto tour today, doing a little history, a little bit of sightseeing, and a little bit of Americana. Liking the stream, or if you're enjoying the stream today, be sure you smash that like button and subscribe button if you'd like to monetarily help out the stream and to help ensure future streams. You can see my PayPal and Venmo there on the screen in the lower left hand corner, or in the you can get to the link via the pinned message in the chat. But I really appreciate you guys riding along with me today. This is our 5th stream of the year. Given that it's only January, we're starting off strong. This is our very first Let's Explore series videos. Hopefully we have a whole bunch in the future. We're fixing to go under this railroad bridge here, which is kind of cool. Okay, neat. And we're just having a blast today. What a great way to spend a Sunday. Beautiful outside, warmer today. It's up to 47 now in the car, so it's probably like 43 real temperature outside. A virtual heat wave compared to where it's been here lately. And we're just checking out Route 66 west of Oklahoma City, out towards the Oklahoma border, and soaking up the history today. Let's see, now we got to figure out how do we get through town and stay on Route 66. That is a great question. I think we just stay on Main Street. So we saw Route 66, the gas station, which is the historic monument or a registered place, and then right there in your screen in front of you is the Lucille's Roadhouse restaurant. Not a historic place, but a good place to eat all the same. And we're coming into Weatherford now. says, do you want to take a break after I've been driving for so long? It seemed like I just started. You know, if I had a Model T or Model A, those would be open air carriages for the most part, I think. They may have had some enclosed, but it would have been really drafty at best. You would have to have a very good heater. Let's see, should we? I think we should probably turn left here. Yeah, bicycle 66, there we go. If you're gonna let me go, I will go, thank you. So we're in Weatherford. Weatherford's the hometown of Tom Stafford, the astronaut, flew several missions back in the 60s. Has a museum, a building at the college named after him, and many other things. I was actually watching a movie the other day where they had announced his name. There's a guy on a bike here. Hopefully they allow me room to get by. He should say no to crack. Ah, my eyes, what did I see? What did I see back there? That was kind of funny. So now we're going through the downtown heart of Weatherford along Route 66. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see a sign that says Jerry's. Jerry's has been there a long time. One of the historic diners along this route. Looks a little different than I remember it from long ago. Town pretty well myself. always like this little downtown. Let's get in this lane. People are trying to back out. There we go. Make our way back onto Route 66 here in just a minute. I believe right here is where we want to go. Yes. So we're driving Route 66, been at it now for about an hour and a half. Pretty cool drive. We've driven on 66 the whole way, fully connected from the west side of the Oklahoma City area all the way out here to Weatherford, and now we're going to make our way to Clinton. Just a fun little cool relaxing drive today. It's been nice. It's been a really nice drive. Okay, so now on this side, we'll go by a movie theater, and it used to be that there was a drive-in movie theater here a long time ago, and it has been since replaced, torn down. We've had something else put there, but we still got a movie theater here, but it's just your regular old Route 66 movie theater, not the drive-in. Although there's still a few drive-ins around, not many. Right there is where the old drive-in used to be. Okay, so we got a truck being pulled over right there. Wonder what's going on. That's on the interstate, so we are right beside the interstate now. So we're still traveling the Mother Road. If you just joined us, we have been traveling Route 66 west of Oklahoma City for about 2 hours now, just kind of checking out just driving the old road, soaking up the history, seeing the sights along the way, soaking in the beauty. I hope you guys have had a good time. If you've enjoyed the stream, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. We'd love to see you ride along with me on future trips and storm chases and whatever else comes up. I'm not beholden to any one particular subject. I love weather, I love history, I love sports, but we're not going to be streaming any sports anytime soon. But I love nature, obviously, landscapes, photography, everything. So that's what we're doing today, a little historical driving. Part of me wonders if we're going to get over 3,000 subscribers today. So when I started today, I think we're at $29.95. And that'll be an interesting thing to see when we get to the house. But for now, I hope the stream has looked good. I hope it sounded good. I hope everything has flowed nicely. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the ride. This is Route 66. This is the historic road. And I hope everybody gets a chance to come drive it one of these days. Stop here real quick so I can see. Let's see here. Chad says, do you remember the movie The Outsiders? The drive-in that they weren't... Oh yeah, the drive-in is still open over there. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be so cool. They have the Outsiders house too, if I remember right. They've got the house actually designated as a historic place, and I really enjoyed that book and the movie. Being a child of the 80s, you know, I kind of grew up with that stuff, and it hits home for me. Look how beautiful it is out here, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the plains. When you got snow on the plains, it's pretty awesome too. Can see, it's a little from a historic places perspective. There are not many places left along the actual route other than the road. In this section. Now someday soon we'll do the other side. We'll do the east side of the state, and then we can hit Texas eventually, and Missouri, and Illinois, and all kinds of different places, you know, to see. They got the blue whale in Catoosa that's really cool. They've got several stops along the way on the east side that we'll want to soak in a little bit. Maybe in my downtime I'll figure out how to stream directly from my phone while streaming from the vehicle, and we can get out and explore some of these places in depth. I think that'd be really cool. Ever just take like little drives out in the country or just wherever, no particular place to be or go? I've done that my whole life, and I find it one of the most enjoyable things. I haven't done it in a while, but today we're doing it. I'm glad. This is one of the stops along Route 66 where we're actually going to switch over to the other side. It doesn't stay on the same side of the highway, so we're going to go over I-40 and then we'll continue back to the west. Okay, back on the 66 we go. Now we're on the south side of the interstate. If we can make an adjustment to the camera. I probably should have done this a while back, but I've got it basically where it's sitting attached to the glass and the dash, which may or may not cause a little bit of extra vibration. So I'm going to try to address that a little bit, see if I can bring it up, and if there's any vibration still in it, hopefully that'll be taken away. Probably should have done that long ago. Stop right here and do that. Alright, let's see if we can make an adjustment to the camera. Maybe we can get that bumpiness out. I want to keep it even. I don't know if that's even or not. It might be. Okay, let's ride and see what that looks like. I'll bring it down a little bit. We're fixing to make a stop up here anyways. But that may be really cockeyed. It is cockeyed. We can't be having cockeyed. Well, let's ride with it for a second like that, and I'll bring it back down. See if I can get that evened out a little bit. So until then, just tilt your head to the right just a little bit, and then it'll look even. Hopefully though, it'll take a little bit of, if there's any shake in it. I'll go back and watch the film later, but here and come across. You ever try to fix something and you make it worse? I do that regularly. Just did, but we're going to park out here first. Employee parking only. Well, let's see here. Where's the best place we can park? Maybe over here. We'll try this. Okay, well, that line will actually be a good way to know whether we got it straight or not. Let's raise it up. There we go. but it's still sitting on the dash. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do that or not. So, here. All right, guys, I am going to quick. Uh-oh. We camera issues, don't we? Yep. All right, I'm gonna leave it there, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Now let's see if we can get this camera worked out real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, 9, okay. Well, I'm going to flip it back over there. I've got a little of I've got a little bit of connection issue with this So hopefully I can get this fixed. We're close. Let's see if we can. Let's see here. Oh goodness. Camera. Let's see. All right, now let's try this again. Gosh, I don't know what's going on with this. Good. Been able to fix it. All right, there we got it. Amazing. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back. Cannot believe it. Okay, let's continue our mission here. God, what a mess. All the little bugs. All right, here we go, back again. Sorry about that. I don't know what I did to fix it, but I'm glad that I did. Okay, back on 66 we go. For our Sunday drive. back to that. I'll tell you what, guys, what I'm going to do, because it looks like we've hit some snags. So I'm going to go ahead and, there we go, got that back. I'm going to go ahead and we'll wrap this up because we've seen a majority of the Route 66 drive to the west. Today was a good introduction to our stream. And hopefully it's an idea that will catch on, and we can make some good live streams in the future, kind of soaking up some history and everything. But I'm going to try one more time before I call it quits. Before we call it quits, I'm not going to stop yet. There's got to be a way that we can do this a little bit better. Okay, that come up there. All right. Now, not sure the connection. There's that. Our camera over here. Our camera over here. We go over here to this. That's not where I want to be. Okay, that camera there needs to be deactivate that and reactivate it. Here we go. Now we're cooking. We're almost back, folks. Going the wrong way. Okay, now we go. Okay, now I think we're back. We may stick with this a while longer. What a mess. Not supposed to be this way. I gotta answer some questions here. Okay, now let's see if we can get back to business. Okay, thanks Chaz, appreciate the feedback. Thanks for hanging in there with me. What a mess. Okay, how about we do it a little longer here? Let's go a little longer. Route 66 is calling our name. It doesn't want us to go home yet. Okay, so we're on Route 66. We're heading west. We're almost to Clinton. Little technical difficulties, nothing we can't handle though. We'll have to solidify that in the future though for our streams. So it's good that we see it now. Passing by the White Dog restaurant, which is an old restored building. I remember when that thing was abandoned. Now it is a nice restaurant. Yeah, good view of overlooking town right now. So what we'll do is we're going to going to come up into Clinton here, and then we're going to start making our way back. We've had a good drive today, and we'll start making our way back towards the metro area. But it's been an excellent drive. It's been fun. We've got a little bit of history along the way and a good introduction to my thought process to these Let's Explore series. So I'm real excited about what the future holds to do this. We've had a pretty good stream today too, other than just the technical difficulties that we ran into. That camera still, it's staying strong. Coming in into Clinton on the old 66 here. History in Clinton along Route 66 is gone now. They used to have the Pop Hicks restaurant and the Calmez Hotel, places people would stop and eat and stay. That Calmez Hotel was a multi-story building, one of the tallest in town, and it has been since torn down, lost to time. And along with the Route 60 or the Pop Hicks restaurant, which used to be a popular stop along the way here. I think next time we do this, we'll try the Wichita Wildlife Refuge. I think that will be an amazing trip to take. And I would have done it today had it not been so chilly, but I think that's something we can save for the next time. I think it'll be an awesome stream. Lots to see, definitely. Yeah, I agree. It was just a little blip on the radar. A little blip, and it's just something that, when you see that stuff shows up, that's just something we get to work on and try to work out that so we don't see it again. Because during tornado season, yeah, we don't want that. We got to be able to see the tornadoes, for sure. So what we're going to do now, we drove a stretch of 66 that basically ended up being about 80 miles. And it was kind of a fun drive, very little traffic. We got to see some kind of cool places along the way, some pretty cool places. And now we're probably going to hop on the interstate and drive back. And just keep the stream up and ride, enjoy the drive. So if you guys have any ideas for places you want to see in the future, I'm up for it. I'm thinking that my idea and what I would like to do is something like this, basically a scenic America. Let's explore everything, hopefully we can make it to where we don't even have to stay in the car. We can get out of the car, explore, do a little hiking, really get to know places. That's what I like to do. I love this kind of stuff. I just kind of love living the history a little bit. And now we've got a stream where we have traveled down Route 66, at least on the west side of the state. Lady Gracious is back. So she's back, family fed, and happy. That is awesome. It probably is dinner time over where you're at, right? We're getting into the afternoon hours here, 2:19. There we go. That's just stuff I gotta work out. So picky. Okay, that should be back now. What a mess. There we go. I'm gonna bring the camera up just a little bit when we pull off up here. Hopefully it stays connected. We gotta work out that wire anyway, so I'm okay with the little glitches for now. And if I can identify them now, that means they'll be taken care of for later. And I appreciate you guys, your patience. I don't like how this is pointing towards the ground so much. Up here. And come over here. There's a little mountain of snow right in the way. Okay, we're kind of back to where we were earlier, so I can pull up right here. Okay. I'm gonna bring that camera up just a little. Pray that we don't jog something too loose. I don't want it. Don't go back to where you were. There you go. Okay. Chaz, we'll see you later. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, and I think, guys, well, let's see. We'll just stay. We'll hang in there. I want to. What did y'all think of the Route 66 drive? Sounds good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, lady. That's some great feedback. I was hesitant to do this today just because, you know, like I said, it's a lot of miles, and I've got to get to a certain point as far as viewership goes, so I can get the algorithm to lean into my stream. But glad we did it. It was a good drive. May do some photography related streams to fill in the gaps between weather and stuff like that. Right now we're on I-40 now, and we are heading back east. guys just joined us, we've been driving down Route 66. We're on Interstate 40 now, but be sure you go back and watch the stream. That way you can see the places we went down on Route 66 and just the road in general. Really good day, just a kind of a relaxing drive out on a Sunday afternoon. Beautiful weather, and nothing better to do, so it was awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to go ahead and call the stream. I really enjoyed you riding along with me today. Be sure you smash that like and subscribe button before you go, and be looking for a stream here pretty soon. We'll try and do this again and head out to a different area. Alright, well, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see you